You've probably heard of Max Payne before. It's been in development for many years now by a Finnish company called Remedy. The big question with any game that's been in development for so long is, was it really worth the wait after all this time? And the good news is that the answer with Max Payne is definitely yes. It's a very, very cool, very original action game that's clearly inspired by sort of the great movies in Hong Kong action cinema, as well as the 1999 movie The Matrix. It's evident that the designers have watched a lot of John Woo's movies in their time. You play as the title character, who's a renegade undercover New York cop whose wife and baby daughter were brutally murdered, and now he's been framed for a crime he didn't even commit, and so he's got his back against a wall, and all he could do is try to take revenge for all these horrible things that have been done to him, and hopefully find some answers to why he was targeted by these mysterious enemies. It's a third-person shooter. You play the game from behind Max's back and control him easily using a mouse and keyboard setup similar to what you'd find in a first-person shooter. The key difference in Max Payne compared to most any other game involving lots of guns is that Max has this special ability called bullet time. Causes everything around him to slow down to a dramatic sort of cinematic slow motion that you might find in a Hong Kong action movie or The Matrix. This effect isn't just for show. It lets Max still aim his guns in real time, so suddenly you can perform these great flying acrobatic leaps through the air, while taking out about 3 guys, all before any of them, have a chance to even draw their weapons. It's a very well done effect, and it's completely essential to the game. So, in using it, Max Payne does a really good job of combining sort of really impressive graphics, but at the same time, really interesting and enjoyable play mechanics. So it's definitely not all just eye candy. It's goes right into the gameplay. Speaking of the eye candy, Max Payne does have plenty of it. The game, you've probably seen screenshots of the game from when it was in production, and people always expected it to look really good, and it definitely does. In particular, the textures used for all the scenery in the game are just remarkable. All the settings look very real and very lifelike, and you can manipulate most objects in the scenery, flush toilets and turn TVs on and off and stuff like that. And best of all, perhaps you can really shoot the hell out of them, because almost everything in the game is completely destructible, and usually when you get into a big gunfight with a bunch of goons, once the dust settles, the room is going to look very different from how you first came into it. Everything gets covered in bullet holes and debris flies all around, and also the game's fire and explosion effects are very well done, and the lighting is very atmospheric and very realistic. A lot of the animation is very good too, particularly on Max, who looks very lifelike as he's running all around, and the way the designers implemented, the slow motion shoot dodges, as they're called in the game, which you've seen before in various action movies. The effect is done perfectly and looks just like you'd hope it to look. Max Payne sounds really good too. The sound as you go into bullet time is very well done and sort of makes you hold your breath in anticipation, and the gun effects are all very realistic and nice and loud. The voice acting in the game is interesting, to say the least. It's a lot of the dialogue sounds rather forced and pretty hammy and sort of melodramatic.
When Janela was burning to get me, the feeling was mutual. He was trying to put out my flames with gasoline.
But it does grow on you after a while, especially because the story in Max Payne is actually a very big part of the game, and is sort of played played consistently throughout all the levels. It never, it takes a back seat to the gameplay. It's always right there along with you, and the story has so many twists and turns in it that it'll definitely keep you interested, if only because it's presented in this very cool graphic novel type of look that uses sort of stylized photographs to represent all the characters. Max Payne's story, will definitely keep you interested, just as the gameplay will. If Max Payne has a single shortcoming, it's that the game is relatively short. It takes about 10 hours to finish, which might disappoint some players. But on the bright side, it's a very interesting 10 hours. It'll give you a lot of good memories, and it's filled with a lot of really great scenes and a lot of really spectacular moments. The game does have a few additional gameplay modes that are unlocked once you finish the game the first time. For instance, there's a mode that just is more difficult than the standard game, and there's another even harder mode that you can access once you finish that. And there's also a mode called the New York Minute, where you have to race against the clock. You have just 1 minute to finish each level, and as you shoot down bad guys, you get a few more precious seconds to add to that. So that mode is very tough, but should keep players pretty interested. Of course, the game has a rather impressive arsenal of realistic, real-world weapons in it, including pistols and submachine guns and assault rifles and grenades and all kinds of stuff like that you'd find in action movies. And the game it's a pure action game, so the realism sort of takes a back seat. Max has no trouble carrying all this stuff around with him, and his bullet wounds are easily cured with a few simple painkillers. So all this is in order to keep the gameplay really quick and really fast-paced, and it does its job very well in that respect. Max Payne is just easy and fun to play, and part of the reason you'll finish it in a relatively short period of time is because this pacing is so well done. So is Max Payne worth your time? It definitely is. It's one of the greatest action games ever made for any number of reasons. It's got a tremendous style. It looks really great. It has original play mechanics in it, and it's just really a lot of fun, and it even has a really good story. It's a bit too bad that the game didn't last longer, but you'll definitely want to play it through multiple times, and you definitely want to check it out no matter what. If you've been looking for an action game that's both different and still very well done, then look no further. And if you've been waiting for Max Payne for a long time, then your wait was worth it.